Congratulations on winning that last match. Our casters were screaming too. There were points where they were just kind of full of excitement. If you had to guess, what would you say were some of the moments that the casters started screaming?
Definitely when I timer stalled her at the end.
Sportsmanship. Winning or losing with grace is vital to the enjoyment of the game. The desire to continue playing a game can be soured by players who berate their opponents after winning or losing a match. Likewise, a player who plays the clock rather than the game shows poor sportsmanship and should be discouraged from doing so whenever possible.
Fantastically played by Michael, he timed it perfectly.
And should be discouraged from doing so whenever possible.
Fantastically played.
Miracle versus Trista's Groudon and Slowbro. Trista playing exceptionally well, out of her mind.
Oh my
Slowbro
gosh!
sets up a trick room and... What?
Safeguard returns, gravity returns.
Heal Pulse.
Oh my gosh, and that's it.
Michael has 0 offensive pressure out on his side. And Trista Medine clawing her way back.
It's not over yet.
It isn't, but there's just such little offensive pressure. Of course, timer is a fact
And
now.
that's the reason why I say that's not over yet, solely because if Smeargle gets some ridiculous Dark Void shenanigans right now, Michael can still win off the win condition that he has more HP in the 2 of his Pokemon. Slowbro is heavily damaged, and as a result,
So, that's interesting right there. Like, I showed the whole clip because it tells the entire story. Trista made a ridiculous play, and everyone was losing their mind, and then at the end of all that, there's the realization, well, timer comes into play, and since the opponent, Michael, has a healthier team, he can just play the clock and win. That doesn't sound like discouraging from doing so whenever possible. I mean, the commentators even consider it a win condition. What has happened to the spirit of Pokemon? Because, like, these are the official rules right here. This is the general tournament rules of Pokemon. Number 1, spirit of the game, fun, fairness, honesty, respect, sportsmanship, and learning. These don't sound like bad rules. These don't sound like things that people need to avoid or forsake and get rid of. These are the rules of Pokemon. Sportsmanship is right there. And here we have, like, the Pokemon officials just kind of making light of that. Like, no, this guy isn't being unsporting at all, and we shouldn't be discouraging it. Like, there's the craziest trend that's just developed over the last year or two in the VGC community of how, like, yeah, that's a win condition. You know, you play the clock, you're supposed to do that because that's a win condition. Completely legitimate, even though the actual rules of Pokemon state the complete opposite. And then we have it right here. Now, this is super heartbreaking to watch because, you know, the commentators talk about, yep, just playing for the timer right now. What are the options? Not really too many. And then just stuff right there. So playing the whole timer, and then it gets like super sad right here. Like, you can see her face. You can just like watch as the timer goes through that it's more and more frustrating. You know, it's just like, come on, timer, wake up. Groudon's asleep right now. All Groudon has to do is wake up, pop one of the opponents, and that's going to be game right there, and GG. Like, Michael, his only chance at winning this game was from timer stalling from almost midway through the match. That's absolutely premium content right there. If I was the Pokemon company, I want this representing me more than anything. So yeah, Slowbro wakes up. She thought that it said Groudon woke up, but no, the Slowbro Ice Beam doesn't really matter too much. And then right here, you know, Bronzong gets a Gyro Ball. It's not going to be enough to knock out the Slowbro. It's all on Groudon. All Groudon has to do is wake up, hit the Bronzong. Groudon's asleep. She knows it's over. And the dumbest thing about the Pokemon and how it works is that if the battle time is less than the turn time, game just ends. So, turn ends, 45 seconds, but it doesn't matter. All he has to do is use 20 seconds of his battle time, of his command time, game ends, turn doesn't resolve, GG, and yeah, that's the most unsporting thing that you could imagine, and it's already happening at Pokemon Worlds. This was day 1. And it's already happening in day 2 as well right here. I'm going to show that, but I mean, this is even like crazier when you look at how everything breaks down. You have to have a 6-2 record to go to day 2 for Worlds. So this was day 1. Loser drops, winner goes to day 2, and then his face. I mean, his face is just, I don't even know what to say about it. Like, he just kind of reflects on it, has that smirk, kind of laughs it off from an unsported play. She's like at the verge of tears right now from just what happened, and I don't believe it. That was allowed, guys. That was allowed, and that's why it's like, if you're trying to make your competitive scene, if you're trying to make it look legitimate, that is not how you do it. And then day 2, this is even worse. All right, 11 minutes in, we get the double KO right here. You know, there's all kinds of finish. If you land the Scald on the ground it's not surviving that. We got the wind on, we got the Delta Stream keeping it alive. So he only has 2 Pokemon left. It's a 4v4 format, got wiped in 1 turn. What's he going to do? Believe it or not, he's going to sit there and use the entire timer to select his only 2 remaining Pokemon. And you can guys see the frustration grow on her face as well. And the 2 Pokemon he brings in are going to be Smeargle and Xerneas. Like, I want to try to skip around, but I don't know, because, like, getting this time correctly, just, like, scrubbing through the video. So, yeah, takes a full timer right there. Smeargle, and then Xerneas comes in. So she has 3 Pokemon remaining. Take out 1 Pokemon, fairly even. Smeargle can get a Dark Void, something like that. Take out 2 Pokemon, go for the stall. You can secure your victory. So, I mean, that proves timer stalling right there. That he only had 2 Pokemon to choose, takes full timer. This is the next turn, full timer as well. Yep, because why not? Why not? And then after that, you know, Smeargle has the fake out, so it's able to shut down the Rayquaza. Xerneas is able to start getting some momentum on the Suicune. And then after a couple of turns, he goes and turns it around, and now Rayquaza about to get KO'd by the Xerneas. Aegislash is the only Pokemon left, and win for the timer stall just to make sure the game would be secured. And it was like, that's like some of the most egregious timer stalling I've ever seen. 11 minutes in, gets a double KO, decides just in case something goes wrong, might as well eat up your opponent's time, might as well try to tilt them or something. Yeah, guys, total sportsmanship. Totally awesome. Like, how is, I keep saying the same thing, I keep repeating myself, but it's so appalling that I don't even know what else to say. This is not how you have a serious competitive game at all. You don't have casters, you don't have officials that are trying to promote this as legitimate play when the very rules of the game say no. That I feel like it's some kind of crazy conspiracy theory. That we have like Nugget Bridge and VGC higher up players determining what they think should happen to the official competitive scene and then transforming it right there. I mean, we've seen that players like Wolf Click have used cheated Pokemon. Ray Rizzo has used a cheated Pokemon in the games, and that's completely fine. So it's like, as long as you're on the inside, as long as you're in that group of people that are in the higher ups, the rules don't apply to you. And I don't understand, or you can shape the rules as you want, because last year, after I was dropped out, or after I was given a loss by Scott Glaza at a tournament he wasn't anything a part of. Like, pretty much, I can link the video in the description if you haven't seen it by now. Scott Glaza, Pokemon Company employee, rewrote the rules of a tournament to give me a loss because of some personal thing he has against me. As a Pokemon company official, it doesn't make any sense. And he's also like he's also pretty big on the Nugget Bridge. So it feels like the higher up people, they have the in on Pokemon. So they're not allowed to get caught for cheating. They can do whatever they want. And then they can even rewrite the rules, because right after having this fallout with Scott Glaza, the rules were rewritten to have it to where timer stalling did not apply to VGC, even though when I was making the fuss about it, it did. So it seems like whatever the players feel should happen to the game, it's getting changed, even though it goes against sportsmanship. It goes against the competitive integrity of the game. That this should not be allowed in any game. That this is not approved or applauded in any other game that exists effectively. That there's some rules against it, and certain specific rules will just get you dropped. Because we can see right here that these were the rules: making legal plays which have no effect on the game in progress to manipulate the time remaining in a match, playing slowly to manipulate the time remaining in a match, game loss. Not even a warning. Straight up game loss. You know why? That's a major unsporting conduct. So 7-6, unsporting conduct, major time stalling. I don't understand. Back in 2012, back in 2013, this applied directly to the VGC. It was in the VGC handbook. It was like players that play the clock, players that are making unimpactful moves toward the game. Even in VGC, it was deemed as timer stalling. But as you can see here, the commentators, these higher up VGCs, because Aaron Cybertron Zhang is on this, we also have other players, as timer stall happens, they just kind of see it as a legitimate win condition. When Scott Glaza gave me, like, forced the loss upon me at the tournament, he was saying, like, it's her win condition. It's a legitimate win condition to be unsporting. And I completely don't understand that at all. Now, also, it's one thing that's really interesting is I'm so against unsporting conduct that even when it comes to Trista here, she's made, like, unflattering remarks against me in the past, but I still feel I know the difference between right and wrong right here, that I'm going to stick against unsporting play, and yeah, I don't understand how this keeps happening. Like, Pokemon Company, when it comes to cheating, all this hacking, all this unsporting play, all these rules manipulations, allowing people like Ray Rizzo to be a commentator after being caught with a cheated Pokemon. Same with like the amount of praise and amount of acceptance and momentum that Wolf Glick has while using cheated Pokemon and condoning cheating to his fans.
Who's out here cheering you on?
My friend Colin, Wolf, Blake. There's a whole bunch of them out there.
Like he said in his video, you can use hacked parents to breed, like you can breed hacked parents and then get a legitimate Pokemon. The Pokemon Company says no. So it's like there's some kind of split here, and somehow the players have more power than the company, and the company chooses to remain silent instead of trying to fix the issue. But first you have to acknowledge there's an issue. They just brush it under the rug, hope it's okay, and that's absolutely sad. It's really sad to see because Pokemon Company's trying to turn it around. The 2017 prize format looks great. It seems like they're trying to slowly guide in a good direction, but no one wants to watch this. No one wants to enjoy your competitive sport or esport if they think it's going to be this. You know, making other players feel tilted, making other people feel bad, you know, enjoyment of the game. You know, you don't want to sour your opponent's experience. That's exactly what's happening right here. And the people watching, this is not good for spectators. This is not good for any kind of competitive health or spirit of the game. I don't understand how it keeps going on. So if you guys enjoy the video, hope you all have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.